come in mid-show, right, Andrew? Or you want to start with the gar?
We can do. I just want to make sure she doesn't fuck it up.
Whose duty is that?
Yeah, who's on cigar duty right now?
The chick, Tash. She's supposed to be getting them.
Is that your girl or assistant? Or?
It's a chick. One of my chicks. Yeah. One of my wives. I got 4 wives from Ethiopia.
Do you
That's one of your wives for real, or is that a girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Yeah, I hadn't seen her in a minute.
So wait, when you bring a girl, when you bring like a girl, is she a girlfriend or just a girl for the trip?
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Yeah.
So you like you put her on cigar duty?
Well, if I need a cigar, then I would ask her to go politely get me a cigar. Yeah.
What if she said no?
How could she possibly say no to me?
What if she's like, why do I have to get your cigars? Like, get your own cigars.
Why do I have to put?
This guy, man, if you haven't seen this guy, you've been living under a rock, all right? So people can misconstrue him as potentially a little misogynistic, and he gets into that in this part of the interview, or I've seen clips of it on TikTok already. I haven't watched the full interview yet, but he literally doesn't care, and they come off the rip asking him about his girlfriend or wife or whatever, but instead of asking her who's gonna get it, I'd be like, okay, well, if you have so many girls, how does a girl become your girlfriend, or how does she become your wife? And if she does become your wife, is there any type of contract or anything like that? But is it a process to become a girlfriend, or what is the process to become the girlfriend?
Put you on a private jet to fucking Croatia. Fuck off then.
There you go. There you go.
I agree with that.
Wait. So
Bye.
how many girlfriends?
Me?
Yeah.
Man, I'm a man of God. I'm a good man. I don't want to be in this podcast. Everyone trying to tell the world that I'm some kind of horrible, evil misogynist. Everyone seems to think I am for some reason.
I think it's great to have multiple.
But do you?
Yeah, why not? I mean, if they're okay with it. Yeah.
Well, do you have like a ranking system? Like,
So before they get into that, it's like, okay, is it a lot of work? Because I mean, relationships in general are a lot of work. So if you're juggling, it's like, are you juggling multiple women? And if you are, how many? And is it, since you are in a position of power where I guess money is just no issue, and you're in full control, is it a lot of work to juggle multiple women, and does it stress you out? Is it as awesome as people say it is? And then however he decided to answer it, you just kind of go down that rabbit hole.
you have a main piece and then side girls. How does that work?
I'm a man of God. I read the Bible. I go to church. I don't know. I can't possibly answer these questions. This is obviously going to be watched by every single female that has any kind of association to me, and I'm loyal to all of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go. So do the math on that one. See, baby, I told you I was loyal.
So what is the definition of loyalty? So when it comes to you, what is the definition of loyalty? And if we were to ask the girls what that means, that you're loyal to them, what does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
So
I'm
would
loyal
you-
to all of you at the same time.
You think it's possible for a man to be loyal to one girl?
I think it's possible for men to do lots of things. Sure, we can go to the moon. You can be loyal to one girl. You can go scuba diving if you want to. I don't think that if men were truly honest with themselves that they want to be, I think men are loyal to a woman to try and inspire loyalty out of her. A man will sit there and go, I only want to be with her. But really what they're saying is, I only want her to be with me, which is a masculine imperative, and it's natural, and I completely understand that. Every man's the same. But if you could make a woman be loyal to you while not being loyal to her, then you would not be loyal to her. If a man's truly honest and says, if I can press this button and she's loyal to me no matter what I do, am I still going to only be with her? Now, you might prefer her. You might spend 99% of your time with her, etc. Completely get that. But on a long enough time frame for the rest of your human life, if she's going to be loyal to you regardless, are you telling me that without any kind of backlash from her, without the chance of her cheating, without any bullshit, you're going to tell me for the next 50 years you're not going to fuck anything ever once?
If she let you, why not? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
feel
would
like
definitely
everyone
do
would
it.
agree to that.
Everyone would agree to it, right?
So it's different for men and women, is what
It's completely different for men and women, and it's also different because a lot of people misunderstand what I say. It's different for men of a certain status, right? If you're a man who has his shit together at a certain level of status, you can say to a woman, look, I love you with all my heart. I want to be with you. I'm going to take care of you, but you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm in charge because this is my life. You're on the Tate train, and we're headed to success station. I'm the one driving it. And if you're going to be on my train, certain things are going to happen. If you're unhappy, you can get off. No problem.
I feel like you've been experiencing that.
So if he is talking about status and to be able to do that and to be able to say that to women on a regular basis, what status do you have to be at as far as like, obviously you have to have a bankroll. So what would that bankroll be? Does that depend on your network of people you hang around, assets, cars, like what puts you at that status? Or like it's a really popular thing right now to talk about like high value men. Like what would the definition of a high value man be to you? And could somebody like, you know, Kyle, Steiny, or anybody else on Nelk, Steve, would in Andrew's eyes, would they be at a level of status where they can do something like that or say something like that to women? That would be interesting.
As like a high value male. Me and Salim kind of just started. I'm hoping Steiny gets there one day. But once you get there, it'll be it'll be dope. When you get into the high value area, it's like it's pretty fire.
Well, if you're hard to replace, then you're going to accept more things than you would accept from someone who's easy to replace, right? This is basic human psychology. We can take it away from dating and apply it to basically anything. You will accept your Lamborghini breaking down because it's hard to replace it. You will not accept your Toyota breaking down because you can just go get a Nissan. So it's the same kind of game, right? If you look at a guy and go, he is amazing at everything. I truly feel, I feel happy with this man. I can't find another man on his level who could possibly replace him or fill the hole in my life he would leave. Sometimes he fucks that bitch. Oh, fine. You're more likely to accept it. That's human nature, right? It's not even about intersexual dynamics and all the things I talk about, even though I could use those examples to apply all of my beautiful, completely correct, logical, affirmations. The reason I don't do that is because everyone comes back and goes, it's misogynist. So fine, cool. Stop them all crying. Let's talk about human nature. People are not going to be quick to replace something or attempt to replace something which is basically irreplaceable. So if you're a high enough status individual, then you get to get away with more. That's basic human psychology, isn't it, as a whole? And I think that I'm with guys here. I don't have to be polite. I don't have to say I think. I could say I know. I know.
I don't think there's any girls in the room. Is there? Is
there?
Is Alyssa even in here?
You're good, bro. Act
shit.
like there's not.
Cool. I know that women as a whole are quite understanding of their status. Women are very, very intelligent. I know people say I'm misogynistic and people say I say bad things about women. Women are very, very intelligent in certain key areas.
Real quick, he mentioned that they checked to see if there were any ladies in the room. And it's interesting because guys talk, I don't know, there's a term, it's like locker room talk, right? So it would be interesting, it would be interesting to ask him, so if there were women in here, your girlfriends, wives, whatever, who's in here, would you still be talking the way you do, or would you change your tone at all? Because they did that thing where they look around to see if there's any women talking, to see, it's almost like how, I don't know what the word, but just if he can go a level up to what he said, or like turn his charisma up a little bit, if you will. But I would just, I would ask that as well. But I'm glad that there aren't any women in the room. So you almost get an inside look of how he thinks and how it's like to be around a group of guys and what they talk and what they say and what they ask.
And one of the things they are most intelligent at or best at is reading their own status and understanding what they can and can't get away with. Women are experts at that.
100%.
You get the same chick who will act X way with one guy and get with a new guy and act completely differently. Because
do you think that's subconsciously though?
I think it's subconscious, but I also think they spend a lot of time on Instagram, a lot of time looking at their competition, a lot of time looking in the mirror, a lot of time trying to look good. A lot of time, they spend a lot of time on themselves and within themselves, and they're pretty good at understanding their value and what they can get away with when it's compared against the value that's sitting opposite them, right? So they'll sit opposite one guy and be a dickhead, and sit opposite the next guy and be a sweetheart. They're quite smart at that, right?
That's facts.
It's true. So I think that most women actually, if they get with a guy who they really know has his shit together, they're not going to sit there with that guy and say, listen, you better not, because they're like, if I talk to him that way, he's definitely going to do it.
Yeah.
So they're going to come at a different angle. It would really hurt me if you, and then once they say it would really hurt me if you, then you can apply counters to that in different ways. You can just simply ask, why would that hurt you? Well, if you're fucking all these bitches, how do I know I'm special? So the only reason you know you're special is because I'm sexually exclusive. So if you knew you were special with something else, perhaps you did something else with me, or I did something else with you that I don't do with anybody else, and you would know you were special. So what you worried about me fucking that bitch for? And it can't be that logical, because females are not that logical. You can't explain it that way. But I'm saying if you're with a woman long enough and you have frame and you have influence over her and you understand these basic paradigms and you mention them in the correct conversations at the correct way in the correct frame, over time, they'll learn to accept it. I say this and people completely have a meltdown. I don't know why people have a meltdown.
And real quick, and I just said it's nice to know that there aren't women in the room, so you can kind of get a full taste of like what it's like to be around in a group of guys. But if you're a woman, what he just said, as far as is that true? That's the thing I'm asking you. So if you're a woman, comment below and let me know if what he just said is true.
Meltdown. It's facts. It's facts. You think any of these dudes you think any of these rappers fucking all these girls, the girls are telling them, you better be loyal. You better be loyal.
No, but why?
Fuck no. Because of his status.
Because they don't want to be left.
Because they know he'll just say no, bye. So they just don't, they're like, okay, look at me in the mirror. Can I be replaced? Yes. Can he be replaced? Not easily. Fuck, I got to take this deal. That's the game. And that's human psychology. You can apply that to anything. You can apply it to the fight game. There's an A side, B side. Human relationships, there's an A side, B side. Business deals, there's an A side, B side. Someone's got to fucking take the B side.
So the way you're saying,
Someone's got to lose.
Yeah.
To a degree. To a degree.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about relationships, because we can talk about relationships as a whole. Everyone says what I say is crazy. All I say is that love is real. Men and women should be in love. A man can be completely in love with a woman and care about her and still sometimes fuck something else.
like, the higher your status, the more you can get away with, because that girl's so afraid to lose that, so you can do whatever you want.
Bro, it's the same. But it's the same with anything.
Yeah.
Is it like buy a McLaren? It's not going to work for half the year. They're fucking nightmares, but they're McLarens. So it's just a game.
Like, I used to talk to Salim, and he'd have random girls, and he'd be like, yo, I'm crazy over this chick. And I would say, Salim, dude, think about who you are. You can get any girl you want. These are just random chicks, right?
Well, now it's multiple. Now it's great.
So there's levels to it. And I think that chicks don't realize that until they don't have it. And then they chase back, right?
Well, women are also addicted to drama. This is something else you have to understand about females.
That's very true.
Females are addicted to drama. They are entertained by drama.
And then here we go again. This would be another question for women. It's like, are you addicted to drama? What he is saying true? He says it very bold, very confidently, and these guys just backed him up. So I would throw it back to a woman to ask her if that is 100% true, or if you had to put a percentage on it, what would it be and why? I almost wish there was a girl on this panel just to see how they would react.
Drama. What does a woman do in her spare time? She watches the Kardashians drama. Listen, I don't want to insult anyone. I was about to say a bitch. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. A bitch will sit there. A bitch will sit there and think, I need to relax. Let me watch a murder documentary about a serial killer who chops people's heads off so I can have a nice good night's sleep in bed. They're addicted to this shit. They love drama. So to some degree, even as a man, this is actually an important frame for men to understand. To some degree as a man, you have to instill drama in the relationship, because if you don't, she's going to get bored.
No, that's very true, man.
And she's either going to leave or she will instill the drama, which gives her control. You don't want her to bring the drama.
So you think girls like to fight?
They like drama. They like to be entertained. Yeah. So if she instills the drama, it's probably going to involve some other fucking dude. You don't want that shit, right? So you have to instill drama. So this is the question I always say to all the people who say I'm misogynistic and my view on relationships are wrong, et cetera, et cetera. I say, look, I have beautiful women who are in love with me, and we're all happy and smiling every day. I get to fuck whatever I want. I have a very positive relationship with females. My life's good. You disagree with everything I say. But your relationship, you and your woman don't even fuck. So like, if you take the other paradigm, 99% of men disagree with me, but they marry one chick, they be the good guy, get married, sit with her, just her, I'm loyal, blah, blah. They're all getting fucking divorced, and the chick's giving them a hard time. Yep. You never see that.
Do you want to know the secret to making a great podcast? Here we go. 3.
Dude who did the right thing, and then go, I can do whatever the fuck I want because I do the right thing. So you know what? Leave her at home. I'm hitting the club. I can do what I want because I don't cheat. Never. It's like, oh, she's going to get mad. Da-da. And he's the good guy. I'm the bad guy, and I get to say, see you next week.
So what is the cheating code in Andrew Tate's books? Like, how do you morally cheat if you have a girl? You're honest with her. You're upfront with her.
It's not even about that, because when I say it on these podcasts, I have to condense everything. I have to be very compendious, and I have to try and...
Or how does one, not Andrew Tate, how does one morally
It's
cheat?
just about understanding and instilling a mental frame inside of the female that makes her understand that it's really not that big a deal. That, coupled with your status and the fact that you're hard to replace, will make you be able to get away with it. And when I say get away with, I don't even mean get away with. It can be a very honest and open thing. I'm telling you, man, like, most men would be surprised by how deviant women are. If you have a woman and you're truly cool, and you're truly together, and she truly loves you, you come home, have you been out, you fucked that bitch? I did fuck that bitch. You know what? I fucked her, but her tits are not as good as yours. Come here.
But does that work?
She'll love it. She doesn't give a shit.
What if she had a better rack, though?
Well, then she's in trouble, right?
Wait.
But I'm saying, if the framing is right, but it's about the mental framing. I say these things, and men think I'm full of shit, but you have to understand the mental framing. I'll give you an example. If a man
So that's your line when you come home and you just just compliment the girl's rack and then you're good?
It's an example.
That's a good, that's a good line, though.
But I'm talking about the mental framing. If a woman gets with a man and his frame is correct, that woman, over a long enough period of time, has the same political views, likes the same music, likes the same movies, has the same friends as him, watches the same things on YouTube, the same Netflix shows. If you see a woman who loves that man, doesn't she do everything the man does? So if that man truly believes and can explain to her in a sensible way, look, I love you, I take care of you, I pay your fucking rent, you're living with me, that bitch, fuck that bitch, who cares? I fucked her, so what? Who gives a shit? She ain't here, she ain't living in the fucking penthouse, shut up. Eventually she's gonna be like, okay, well, as long as those girls don't live with you, they absorb their man's frame.
Oh God, this guy cracks me up, man. Like, this guy's so entertaining. And I'll be honest, it took me a while and I'm not agreeing with, just to be clear, once again, these videos are for educational purposes, but this dude just cracks me up. Like, I would love to have the girls come in after and see what it's like to date him. And if it does, in fact, I'm not calling him a liar by any stretch of the imagination, because I've seen, so if you haven't seen this guy, there's no way you're on any social media platform. He has literally flooded every platform, and his message is consistent. This is how he talks. So it would be interesting to hear from the woman's point of view. So if you have a podcast or a relationship podcast, it would be interesting to take clips of something like this and just ask your female audience or ask somebody around you just to double check their answers. And once again, I'm not calling him a liar. I'm just saying it would be interesting to see what they said.
Wait, but
That's the frame.
Hold on, though. So what if your girl comes home, same scenario, and goes, yo, your dick is bigger? That's not gonna make you happy, though.
Bro, okay, so this argument is one I've heard so many trillion times. They say, well, if you can do that, why can't the woman do that? And I can answer it in so many different ways.
Give your harshest way.
My harshest way is that it goes against the will of God and nature. It goes against the way of man. For the longest period of human history, men had more than one woman. Every king, every sultan, read the Bible, read the Quran. In most of the world today, men still have more than one woman. Never in history, in any book ever, in any civilization since the dawn of human time, have promiscuous women been celebrated, ever. They have been frowned upon in every single society ever. The main reason is because of paternity. Because what happens is, if I have 5 girlfriends and they all get pregnant, we know who the 5 mothers are.
The guys are in town?
Thank you. And we know who the 5 fathers are.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, the father sure. For the 5 kids. So you know who the kids belong to.
Yeah.
If you have a woman who's sleeping with 5 dudes, once she gets pregnant, nobody knows who the fucking kid belongs to. Now, the DNA test might be able to fix that, modern science, right? But there's a whole bunch of modern science that has to work at the devil. That shit's new. Humans, evolutionarily, grew up until the 1950s, 1960s, where none of that shit was doable. You had to know who the mother and the father was. You had to have a virgin. That's why they celebrate virginity in most of these places on the planet. They can't afford DNA tests. If she ain't a virgin, I don't know as a fact I'm the father. So I ain't gonna fucking deal with her shit. That's why virginity is so important in most of the world to this day. So to come along and say a woman can do it too is disgusting in the eyes of God and in the eyes of nature. You can come along with science and somehow then try and fix it and prove it.
So
and patch it up.
God just wants the boys to just run through chicks.
God wants the warriors out here.
God's looking down right now and he's like, boys, I just want you to run through chicks.
God wants the men, the masculine males of earth to reproduce, create his warriors. God needs warriors.
What parable is that in?
It's Tate 15.
Okay. I'll search it up.
Look it up.
Wait, so
God needs warriors.
New Testament?
New and old. I'm everywhere, bro. I'm around. You should read the book, G. I'm in there, so you'll see it. And you go, that sounds like Tate. He probably wrote that one. Luke. Nah, that wasn't Luke. That was Tate, that one.
What about, have you ever dated a girl that makes more money than you?
That's a decent question. Kyle's coming at him with the good questions. When he asked him after Tate had just went on that diatribe about God and warriors, I think Kyle politely, whether he meant to or not, was basically like, where does it say that? Where does it say that? And I know, and I think he's just being polite, but it's good. He's listening, so he's asking good follow-up questions. So when you're interviewing somebody like this, who's very entertaining, very charismatic, very controversial is the word I'm looking for, it's good to listen to these little details so you can kind of follow up and ask questions like that.
That's impossible.
It's possible. What do you mean? What if when you finally go to the U.S., you're in L.A., and Kylie Jenner pulls up on you, and she's like,
she's still not richer than me.
She's richer than you.
Nah.
She is.
But I'm rich in ways beyond money. You're thinking in numbers.
No, I'm talking financially.
Then I guess I'm gonna have a very good life, aren't I?
Would you ever date a girl that's richer than you?
Fuck yes. Why not?
So then would you let her pay bills?
I spent most of my life dating girls who were richer than me. Like for a long time, I had no money, and I'd date a bitch and she might have more money than me. That was no problem for me because I was still in control. I was still in charge. Masculine frame is not all about money. The idea that it's all money is not true at all.
See, and I would be really curious to be like, okay, well, then if you dated women who had more money than you because you didn't have money at one time, how did you maintain your control if you didn't have the money? Because a lot of people associate control with money, and I think he's about to answer that. But I think for other just average guys in average relationships, I don't know how that would go. I'd have to talk to people who are dating women who make more money than him that are still in control and see what the actual dynamic is. But if it's kind of like his way or the highway, and you just keep doing that until you find somebody who will get on that boat, then yeah, I guess you just have to do a lot of searching, and that would be a question too. Did before you hit your fame, before you got your status, and you didn't have money, was it tough to find women who would go along with your program, even though that they were making the money?
Right. I did very, very well in my life when I had no money, and I was a professional fighter, and I was on the way up, and I was fighting, and I didn't really have that much money. I did fine.
So what if you're?
There are dudes in New York right now selling CDs on the street with like 4 girlfriends, and they're just tearing through pussy. Everyone knows it.
Even
they're
the
fucking
CD
everyone's
guys?
wife on the slide. They're doing fine. So it ain't just about
But then
money.
what leverage do you have over them if you're not taking care of them? Like, what if Kylie Jenner's like, what the fuck? Like, you're on my jet. It's bigger than yours. Like, you can't fucking cheat on girls now.
If I'm
or
on
would
that,
you just dip at that point?
If I'm on that jet, it's my jet.
Oh my
It's your
God.
jet?
Oh my God.
If I'm on her jet, then it becomes my jet.
What if it says Kylie Skin on the outside
Doesn't
of the
matter
jet, though?
because if she's my chick,
Do you
then
make her pull out the decal?
No, she can keep it. But if she's my chick, then she's mine. So her things are now mine. It's my jet, my house. This is my jet. Young lady, sit down. Be quiet. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. I fucked Hannah Montana, whoever. It's gonna be okay. So there might be some celeb beef there, but it's not just about money. I want people to understand it's not just about money. Because I have money is not the reason I say these things. Frame in and of itself is not just about cash.
But do you think you could pull that off with a boss bitch, is what I'm saying?
Well, this is interesting, right? So now we can apply this to the things I've been saying.
That'd be a true test.
Now we can apply this to the things I've been saying. Someone like Kylie Jenner is far more difficult to replace because
Right.
she's more scarce.
Right.
So then she would be able to turn around and try and play the same game back with me. I'm not saying that it's all a game and it's all just like a chess match and those kind of things. I'm saying these are the basics of human dynamics and human nature. And that someone like Kylie Jenner can have anyone on the planet and there's only one of her. I want to actually say something quickly before we go into this. I'm new to being big on the internet. I really don't know what Kylie Jenner looks like. Wait, is Kylie Jenner
That's cap.
a dude?
Yeah, that's cap. That's cap.
Is Kylie Jenner the
That's
dude?
huge cap.
Is Kylie Jenner a guy?
You have to be capping.
That's a
Caitlyn.
huge cap.
Who's the guy?
You just brought up
Caitlyn.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, but who's the dude one?
Caitlyn.
Oh, okay, fuck it, thank you. I thought you were setting me up.
That's the hottest
I thought you
one.
were setting me up saying I'm talking about a dude. All right, okay. Kylie Jenner.
Kylie's like slightly less hot than Caitlyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, obviously it'd be a slightly different dynamic, but I'm not.
Yeah, that I will have to go with Kyle on that one. He definitely knows who Kylie Jenner is and definitely knows what she looks like. I'll have to go with Kyle on that one.
saying that, but
Or, you could do, you could just pull up a picture of him and be like, which one is Kylie? And just see if he points it out and kind of just see his reaction. But once again, these podcasts aren't to like, oh, we gotcha. That's not what these are. These are more entertaining podcasts. So they wouldn't do that.
who is she dating now?
Travis Scott.
Okay, is he loyal?
I don't know. I think he dogs.
Probably not.
He probably dogs.
What do you think? Do you know who Travis Scott is?
I don't know these people. So I don't know these people, but what I'm saying is that at a certain level of masculine frame, I think most women are kind of like, don't tell me about it. I don't want to know about it. Just do your thing. Please love me. I love you back. Boom. And most women will agree with this. I say this to girls all the time because I say these things and girls say, my man would never cheat. My man doesn't cheat, blah, blah, blah. I say, go into his room and demand to see his phone. And no matter what excuse he gives you, don't buy it. Demand to see it.
Why do you want that, though? Why would you do your boys like that?
No, because exactly. Why would you do your boys like that? Because what's on the phone?
Huh?
What's on his phone?
Probably some shit that
Some
she doesn't want to see.
Some bitch.
Yeah.
So every man's doing it anyway. So every woman knows it, and the reason she doesn't demand to see his phone because she don't want to have her illusions shattered.
Do you think that that's fair for her to want to see the phone and get to see it?
Fuck no, I tell her to fuck off. But I'm just saying that women know truthfully because if they truly want to find out, they could, and they don't want to find out. They want to just pretend.
Can I ask you something about the body count thing? About having chicks have their body counts on their foreheads?
No, you have to explain it first. Explain it be a professional, young man.
I will. Sorry.
Be a professional. We're on one of the biggest podcasts in the world. So please explain
He's new
to the podcast.
He's new to the pod too.
No, I'm not. So.
Explain to the podcast
You're still
what
on
I
trial
said.
a bit.
Wow, yeah, probably with this guy.
Yeah.
You said you had to have girls.
So this I can actually appreciate a little bit because I'm an interview nerd and I believe that there is an art to interviewing. And the fact that Andrew just called him out and to basically give context to what he's saying, there's a very viral clip of Andrew Tate saying that the world's problems could be solved if women walked around with their body count on their forehead. And it sailed through the internet. So it would be really, that's all Steiny had to say. You had a famous quote that went viral. You were sitting in a podcast interview and you said what he just said. So you have to kind of like set it up. Like you don't even have to be a expert podcaster, but this is kind of where like your professionalism and your years of experience kind of show through a little bit because respectfully, like I said, these podcast interview breakdowns are all for educational purposes. I'm not hating on any one of these guys. They're all on my interview list, but I can tell when they prepare and when they don't prepare and when there's structure and when there's not. And these guys are just very like shooting the shit a little bit and there really isn't any structure and they're just kind of going with it. That's why it's just kind of like all over the place. It's not smooth, which is fine because it just depends on your demographic. Their demographic is college kids, so I'm not sure how much they care or not about structure, but I've seen some of these clips on TikTok and people talk about it all the time that they're just all over the place. And I'm not hating on them whatsoever because it comes with experience and it depends how much you really care about structure. But once again, to do research and to have structure, if you're going to ask something like this, you need to have all your ducks in a row, even know which podcast he was on to be able to say that. And if he meant for that clip to go viral and why.
Said have lines for each body that they've had.
That's not even what I said.
No, he said it would, if girls would have the number of body count or whatever they have on their head, it'd make everything way easier.
How so?
But how would it be displayed?
I didn't know exactly what you said after that, but I know.
I'm here on this podcast, you guys. You don't even understand what I said. I'm upset.
Because we want the audience to know, so we need you to dive into it.
I said that a lot of the world's problems could be fixed if women walked around with their body counts on their foreheads. I didn't say lines.
Sorry.
Will it be fixed? Like world hunger?
Everything will be fixed, bro. I'm talking
why?
about society at large could benefit from that scenario.
What does that fix?
Because you have to extrapolate it. You have to extrapolate it and look at it the meta point. If women can't just sleep with anybody and everybody because they're going to be known for it and shamed for it, they're going to be very, very selective with who they sleep with. If they're very, very selective, then men are going to have to be very, very hardworking and very, very dedicated to becoming a man worth sleeping with. So now men are going to be more honorable. Men are going to try harder. Men are going to be more interested in making sure that they're a person who's upstanding in society. Women are going to be very selective who they choose. They're more likely to stick with a guy through thick and thin because they don't want to add a new number to their head. Families will return. Families are an extension of society as a whole, right? It's family, then it's town, then it's city, then it's state,
that makes somewhat sense.
No,
then
I
it's the
disagree.
country.
They should make a Black Mirror episode about that.
They should try it.
I disagree.
Of course you disagree.
But I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
Because it's different. Like if you're looking for a one-night stand and one chick has 3 bodies and one chick has 50, the chick with 50 is going to give you a way freakier night than the chick with 3. So I'd maybe go with the girl with 50.
You're going to walk around looking for chicks thinking, I want one that smells
For a
of dick.
one-night stand, though.
I want one who's been plowed.
Who's going to give you a freakier night?
I wouldn't want that.
I don't
G.
think anyone
For a
thinks
one-night
like
stand.
Any
Okay,
guys
2
would want
bodies.
that.
2 bodies.
Yeah, fucking, you can give me a virgin for a one-night stand.
Who the hell
Yes,
goes for the
sir.
girl with the higher body
Bro, it's
count?
fresh puss.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
a weird
but then there's
take
a lot
right
more.
there.
There's a lot more like bullshit behind the scenes that you guys probably aren't.
Has
thinking
anyone
about.
ever heard that?
I would never.
You don't understand the logic.
If a girl had 100 bodies or 200.
Okay, so if she
I
has
would never
one,
fuck her.
if she has one, and then another chick has 10, who would you rather
One.
smash?
One. All day.
Okay,
What's
well,
wrong with you,
you guys
bro?
just don't get freaky, I guess. Obviously,
Well, I mean,
But it's not about. I don't think it's
freaky.
about that.
I mean, if you want chicks who smell a dick, that's your thing. But that ain't my thing, and I don't think it's most men's thing.
That was a wild take.
Men
though.
are interested in men are interested in innocence. It's
Yeah.
innocence that men find appealing. This is what most
100%.
people don't understand.
Yeah.
Women don't even know what men find attractive. What actually amazes me is that women go through the world and they're so concerned with how they look, but they have no understanding on a basic level of what men find attractive in women. And I know that for a fact because every single time I sit with a chick and talk to her, especially for the first time or on a date or something, she's saying always completely the wrong thing. She's saying exactly which makes me less attracted to her. The fact she's still hot will get.
So he's gone on a few podcasts. There's one called and this is actually where I first found Andrew Tate. It was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and he sits and they basically do a roundtable in Miami with him, the hosts, and just like a lot of women that they're like very influencer model-esque, and they go around and ask these type of questions, and they all have basically the same answers. And it's interesting because a lot of the clips come from the guy saying that's not what we want, and that's what he's saying right here. And a lot of these women watch these shows and they see the same thing, and it's like, I think he's just saying that they just don't get it. So I would almost just ask him, these dates that you go on, is it, and they watch your podcast, they see they see what you think, and you ask them the same question, are they still getting the wrong answer? And and if they're giving you the right answer, how do you know if they're being genuine or full of crap? So
Get her through it.
What's the worst thing a woman can say on a first date?
The worst thing is it's just basic things they don't think about, right?
Like, what's the worst thing they could say on the first date?
I mean, there's a bunch of dumb shit they could say, but within a realistic frame, I don't know. But it's all bad. I'll tell you why. It's all bad. Women will sit there and do something they think is innocent. They'll talk about traveling. I've been to here and I've been to there and I loved when I saw this. My favorite place is this. When you sit with a dude on a first date and tell him how many places you've been, all he's thinking is you've been fucked.
Yeah.
You've been fucked by who paid for that?
Yeah, who paid for that?
Yeah, oh, nice hotel, bitch. Like it's bullshit. Like shut the fuck up. And on top of it, men want innocence, and the reason we find innocence attractive is because we want to be the female's portal to the world. Yeah. If I meet a woman,
you want to hear they've never been anywhere.
Never. I will show you the world.
100%.
The first private jet you get on will be mine. You've ever been in a Lambo? No, you're getting my one first. I'm
Yes.
going to show you brand new experiences. If I sit there with some bitch and she's like, I've been there, I've been that. I went to this party. My friend has a jet. I was in this Lambo. Da 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 da. And you're just like, shut the fuck up. There's nothing less attractive because we want to be their portal to the world. The reason women don't understand this is they sometimes think, especially if they're sitting with a G, like if they're sitting with a guy like me, they feel like they have to prove themselves by pretending they've been with other ballers, right? They don't want to sit there with a man like me and go, oh, I've never been into a restaurant like this. I wish they would say that. That's the most fucking attractive thing they could say to me. But instead they'll say, yeah, I've been here, and my friend, and I did this. And
They drop Dubai and then it's over.
They start
right?
dropping about fucking other shit that
That's
they did
what
with
you
their
want.
If they
makeup.
say Dubai, you got to get the check right away.
Yeah, it's just like, shut up. But they don't. So women don't even know what men find attractive because we're interested in innocence. So he's talking about body counts. It's not even just about the freaky, I'm interested, if I have an experience with a woman, whether it's sexual or non-sexual, I want to be her portal to the world. I want to be the person who shows her something for the first time. I don't want to fuck a bitch who's been fucked every way she can be fucked. Like, what, to invent something new now? Backflips? Like, I can do it. I can do it. Maybe he's doing backflips. I don't know. Yeah. But to me, that's not appealing.
You're missing the point.
That is true. That is true. I think girls do think it is symmetrical. That like guys and girls like the same things.
Girls, and you know what's worse about chicks on dates? I can talk about chicks on dates for a long time. I don't know if I'm allowed to smoke or not, but I don't really listen.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, all right, cool. Good.
You guys want to light
Shout out to Y'all Week for letting us smoke in this hotel.
Yeah.
Here, pass them around. Kyle,
thank you, Y'all Week, for getting us this smoking permit.
No, this is going to be amazing.
Where they at?
I can talk about chicks on dates for a long time.
Because they're fucking the worst date you've ever been on.
They're fucking awful.
Well, can you give us a strategy then?
The worst date.
We need to cut them and shit.
Got a cutter.
I got a cutter. It's just there.
Can you give us a strategy on how to have a
But
successful
first, we complain about all the.
Yeah, so I've got a few questions for you. That's a good question as far as what is the worst date you've been on, or like your top 3, or what is like the most like I think one of them asked like, what is the most unforgivable thing that where it was like, okay, this date's over. Have you ever just walked out or just told her it's like call a cab, or it's just like I'm out of here? The second part is cigars. I recently just got into this, and there's like with cigars. He's always smoking, so it's always wonder. It's like what kind of cigars do you like? Which do you not like? Do you pair it with what you're eating or drinking, or do you not care? Do you cut it a certain way? Do you light it a certain way? Like there's so many ways I would kind of. There's so much going on right now, and there's really no order to this interview. But I still, I would ask those, but I'm still kind of on a little bit of. Not a interviews high, but the fact that he was like, this is the biggest podcast in the world. You guys should be super prepared. That is the best thing I think I've ever heard him say.
Things women do. So first they talk about traveling, which they need to not do because men don't want to hear that. Another thing women do. You know what? Another thing men hate. This is for all the chicks watching this. You know another thing men hate? We hate those social bitches. You know what I'm saying? You meet a girl for the first time, right? First time.
Go on.
Here's a test where you meet a bitch for the first time. Say, what are you doing next week? Correct answer. Oh, nothing, just home. Attractive. That's what I want to hear. You ain't been nowhere. You don't go nowhere. Just home. What are you doing next week? Oh, well, my friend has an art exhibition, and then my girl knows this guy who's doing this thing, and we're going to this party because it's a launch for this new clothing line, and then on Wednesday it's my friend's birthday. Her name's Chloe. She's so funny, and we're gonna go here, and then this. That. She starts giving you this busy schedule. Hoe, slut, shut up. Unattractive. Don't want to hear it. You're a hoe. You've been too many places. You're not home enough. You're not reading the Bible. Uninterested. Busy bitches, social bitches, unattractive. Next thing that's unattractive that women do is when they fucking say.
So you think
I would be curious to know what women would think about that. So it's like, well. What are we supposed to do? Like I could see a woman asking like, okay, well, do we just sit at home? Is that our job? Is that what you want us to do? And just see what they say. And then even ask him that, be like, yeah, like, are we just supposed to sit at home and see what he says? And if you've already been watching this, you have a pretty good idea of what he would say.
All social bitches are fucking though?
What if
they're out there just grinding?
It's about that men don't want that. I'm talking about pure just attraction. She could be an innocent angel doing all these things. The fact that still she's going to sit there with me and start talking about all these places she goes, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear innocence, purity, sit at home, don't do shit.
I don't like when they're sluts, but I kind of find it hot when they have their own shit going.
You have her own shit going from home.
From wherever it is, as long as they're not fucking.
Okay, no, but the problem is that you're saying they're not fucking, right? If a woman's going to all these different places and she's attractive, lots of guys are at least trying to fuck her.
But not if she's with a top G.
Okay, that's right. But she's not with you yet, is she? It's date one.
If she is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's date one, right? It's date one. So for the last X amount of months, she's been running all over XYZ, meeting XYZ, and then you have to look at her and have enough faith that nobody's ever managed to put their dick in her ever. And the truth is, it really ain't that hard. So it's like, social bitches are worse. I walked in a restaurant with a girl, and she's like, we're waiting in this little line. There's like 2 people in front of us, like literally one couple in front of us. The line would have been maybe 6 seconds. So it wasn't even worth kicking off. Oh, I know the manager. And I looked at her and go, how do you know the manager? Oh, I just know him through that. I was like, I just wanted to leave. Like, and now I'm just like, now you know the manager of the best restaurant in the city. You're a fucking, now I got to sit there. You're a hoe now. How many times have you been here? With who? Who have you fucking been here with? It's off-putting. It's disgusting.
I see what you're saying, because like a lot of the times when men deal with women, I mean, it is sexual. You know what I mean? So like when she, obviously you're probably thinking, oh, you know the manager. Fuck, are you fucking him or something?
You fucking him, or you've been here on how many dates? With who? Or you and your girls are here drinking all the fucking time?
The manager wants to fuck you. That's a fact.
Wait, that's it.
Yeah.
Where's my lighter? You stole my lighter?
He's lighting it.
Thieves.
Has like a girl ever brought you back to meet her parents? And if she does, do you act this way? Like, you be real?
Parents love me.
You act this way though too?
I love you.
Parents love me.
Can you show me how to light it? Sure.
Do you tell the dad, like, I'll never stay loyal to your daughter?
No.
So see, this is what I'm saying. This kind of goes back to, and this I think would make a good other clip just because he's all about that masculine energy and how to be a man and all that stuff, or just to be more masculine. This goes back to the cigar question. Is how do you light it? And now, how do you light a cigar? Like, you could tell he was fumbling with it. He had a good question, but he's sitting there fumbling. He doesn't know how to actually light it. Do you sit there and rotate it? Andrew's sitting there and holding it. Do you inhale? Do you suck in and then blow out? Like, if you don't know, you don't know. So, I like to tap myself on the shoulder there.
But I say something else. I say, look, she's been out too much. Finally,
Save that like for dessert, maybe when that comes, right?
Finally, she's under control. But don't worry.
And ask to go back to the parent thing would be like, what do you? Do we lose it? Nope. There we go. Trying out a new software. When was the last time that you met a girl's parents, and had they heard of you? Had they seen some of your clips on the internet? What did they say? And you say that, that parents love you. So what exactly, can you give an example of an interaction, which you had with the parents and what they had to say? And just looking at this freeze frame right here, I hope that glass does not spill on that couch. And also to be super nerdy about what's going on in this podcast, they've definitely upgraded the mics to the Shure SM7B. Great mics, great background, great couch, everything. Just a little tidbit, you could have the nicest equipment in podcasting, because those mics are like $350-$400 a pop, plus the cloud lifter. Anyway, you can tell it's super echoey in there, and is a audio person's worst nightmare. You can hear the echo because these ceilings are super high, and there's probably hardwood floors. They may have put down some carpet to make it not so echoey and not have too much reverb, but just little stuff like that.
She was living haram, but I'm here now. She's going to live a good life now. I'm glad I met her before it was too late. I'm going to save your daughter.
Yo.
I'm here to save her life.
Dad's probably like you. Moms might not.
Oh, they all love me.
You're low-key a lover boy inside, I feel like.
No, I believe in love and that. I'm just.
Yeah, you're a big cuddler, low-key.
You like cuddles, yeah.
Completely. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
But all I'm talking about is just the things women do on dates that are unattractive. And I'm just saying that women do so much shit that's unattractive. And usually, it's 99% of the time they're talking. They're just saying unattractive shit, talking about where they've been, And this goes back to the meta point that we want to be their portal to the world. We want innocence. It's what men are biologically attracted to. So if any woman out here is watching it, roll it sideways. It's a DuPont. Roll it sideways.
DuPont, Salim.
Fuck is this?
Sideways.
It's a DuPont, bro.
From the middle of the lighter, roll it sideways.
Oh.
Down. No, lower. In the middle of the lighter. That's it. So I'm telling this for all the chicks who watch the podcast. Let's say you're going on a date with a guy and you really want to get him. You ain't been nowhere. You ain't done shit. You're an undiscovered diamond. I don't know. I've never been to a place like that. Oh, how do I open the car door? I don't know how Lambo car doors work. Oh, I've never done this. I've never been there. I've never been on holiday. That's what a man wants to hear. He does not want to hear the story. Oh, yeah, I went there once, and me and my friends, all four of us went there because it was our party. And shut the fuck up. It's unattractive.
But wait, how do you...
And women don't know this. Women don't know this because they'll say all this shit, and the man will still bang them. So they think they did good on the date. Oh, he banged me. Well, no, he was going to bang you anyway, no matter what you said. But if you want him to love you, you need to learn to shut the fuck up. This is true because men find Innocence attractive except for him.
Do you think it's harder?
I'd agree with men find Innocence attractive. That's
Yeah, but do you think it's
I didn't even actually realize that until you said it.
Would you, when you go on a date with a chick, would you rather hear her say, "I've never been to the club ever," or "I go to the club every weekend"?
Obviously, never been to the
But do you
club.
think it's harder to find hot girls in that situation?
Oh, it's certainly harder to find innocent hot girls because hot girls are absolutely and utterly corrupted because they're an asset that men try and corrupt. Men try and find hot chicks and show them the world.
Yeah.
So you have to be there first, right? It's not easy to do. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm saying
do you
it's
get
what
there
we-
first, though?
It's how do you get there first? You just got to be a G about it. There are the odd ones. You can find the odd one who's a bit older, who hasn't had too much experience in life or sat around with some dork for a while or whatever. But in general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right fucking now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. I'll say this right here on the fucking internet. I don't give a shit. People will sit there and go, "Oh, you can't say that." Yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 20.
And this is what happens when you're recording this live.
The brand isn't just your logo anymore.
And it's interesting because
6-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why.
It's interesting. This guy is because he said it on multiple podcasts before, is that he is uncancelable. Like, he can literally say and do whatever he wants, and he doesn't have to worry about getting canceled. He doesn't care. He doesn't have accounts anywhere. I think he just has a Instagram account, and then he lets everybody copyright all of his clips, all of his content. He doesn't care. He doesn't collect AdSense. He doesn't do anything. And he claims, I'm not saying he's lying at all, that he's got all the money that he needs from all his businesses, and he really doesn't care if he gets canceled. That's why he's just there. And there's no, what are they going to do? Shut his account down? He doesn't post anything. There are all these other accounts that you see on TikTok, YouTube, anywhere else but Instagram, is just people just flooding the internet with this content. So it's, as a marketer, I haven't seen anything like it. And whether you like him or not, I'm looking at it for more of like a business sense. It's very, very smart. And I haven't seen anything like it. And the word genius comes up. I don't use it very often, but yeah.
26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been more places, been fucked and dumped more times, more arguments, more heartbreak, more bullshit, more mess for me to clean up. Whereas a 19-year-old might have had one guy from high school, just broke up, she's fresh, and I can fucking put my imprint on her and make her a good person, and without her having to go through all that detriment to learn about life.
So what's your key age range? 19 to...
It's not just about the age range.
Just the example.
No, I know, but what's your preference?
I mean, hot girls are hot girls,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. Hot girls are hot girls. But my point is that older women, the reason they're less attractive to men, even if men don't instinctually understand it, is because they've been through a whole bunch more shit. And we're not interested in dealing with someone else's problems. If you get with a girl who's 26, 27, she's going to be sitting there going, "I know men like you. I've seen what men like you do. You ain't going out today."
Yeah, I don't like that.
I ain't dealing. So you're telling me, wait, you're telling me you were innocent and sweet for this dude. You were nice to him. He fucked you and messed you up. And now I deal with the attitude problem you've developed because he got your pussy? I didn't even want him to fuck you in the first place. You should have been a virgin when you met me. Now I'm dealing with your shit? Get fucked. Goodbye.
Don't you think, though, trying to find purity out of women, it kind of is like a low possibility? I mean, it's kind of like when a woman says, "I want a guy that's like 6 feet tall," whatever the case may be, right? There's less of them, and like it's like, dude, you can't really find a virgin out
The
here,
best
man.
things in the world are low probability. It doesn't mean it's not what we desire. We're talking about what we desire. And what I'm saying is that one of the best things about status is that you can now get what you desire. So at status, most men have this dream of sleeping with endless women. I could, if I decided, could sleep with a new woman every single day for the next 10 years. All I would have to do is reply to my Instagram inbox. It would not be difficult. I could do it. It's not interesting to me. I am more interested in using my status to find something extremely rare, like a woman of innocence. That's what I'm talking about here. I'd rather find 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 women of innocence and keep them, as opposed to just sleeping with endless women, because sex really ain't all that interesting to me. I think it gets boring after a while.
That's the
point we're making. Yeah, it's hard to find.
So this would be really interesting. And once again, this would not be to call him out, be like, at some point, can we see your DMs just to see what these girls are saying and if they're just throwing themselves at you? I'd be curious just to see it, not to call them out, but just to see what they are actually saying. What's like the craziest thing somebody's ever said to you and what's like the dumbest thing. anyone's ever said to you, and is sliding in, if for the girls, is sliding in your DMs, does it work?
But just because it's hard to find doesn't mean it's not what every man intrinsically really wants. It's what men really, truly want. And what's actually interesting about it all is, no matter how innocent the female, she still wants the man to have had experience. If you were to ask a virgin woman, do you want a virgin boyfriend? She'd say no. Or if she slept with one man and she had lived a good life, do you want a man who lived a good life and been with one woman? No, maybe she should have slept with a few more. They want you to have been X, Y, Z, right? So you could have been a playboy and slept with 1,000 girls and get with a virgin. She wants you to be that way, and you want her to be that way. It's fine. That's how it's supposed to work. The reason it's all fucked up now is you got women out here who slept with 100 dudes, sleeping with a guy who fucked like 15 chicks, and he wonders why he can't keep her under control. Well, of course fucking not. How are you gonna pull that off?
It's hard for guys.
It's hard for dudes, man, because these chicks are just running through dick. It's hard, and if they run through enough dick, they're eventually gonna end up on a real G's dick. We talk about, I get called a lot on the internet one of these red pill guys, and it annoys me because I'm not.
What's that mean?
Oh, this whole red pill manosphere.
What does red pill mean?
Oh, something about girls and dating and all this shit. I'm not one of them. But some of the things they say is true. And the point I'm trying to make is that if you get with a woman who slept with enough dudes, eventually some of those dudes are going to leave an imprint on her you can't fill. I'd be honest with you. I feel sorry for any man who's with any of my exes. You're going to come along. You ain't me. I could whoop your ass. She knows I could whoop your ass. You can't give her what I give her. You can't do what I can do. And now you're sitting there going, oh, I still love you. And the deepest, darkest night, she's laying there next to you going, you ain't Andrew. You just tried your very
That's
best.
a good feeling,
You
man.
just tried your very best, and that didn't feel like it when Tate did it. And that's it. So like it's like they're widowed in their mind, and you can't truly attach to them because part of them still belongs to someone else. This is what happens at True Status. If I run through 10 chicks, I get to know I've ruined 10 wives, guaranteed 10 divorces, guaranteed, because whoever she marries, she will not be happy with because she will dream of me for the rest of her fucking human existence, guaranteed. That's how it gets. You get to that point at a certain status of man.
How do you get to that point?
You got to get your shit together. How many push-ups you done?
And it'd be interesting to see, like, I lost it. My bad.
Today?
None.
The fuck? Why ask me stupid questions?
How many have you done?
Bro, I do push. I'm ready. I live ready. I do push-ups in my sleep.
How many push-ups do you do a day?
I don't really train the gym too often. I do like 500, 1,000 push-ups a day. If I'm ever on the computer, I set myself little targets. So if I'm on the computer and I'll set a time, or I'll say when this song ends or whatever mentally, and then I'll just drop and do as many as I can.
You try to do a 500 to 1,000?
500 to 1,000 a day, yeah.
I could do
How many
500
can you
a day.
bang out in one set?
100, 150.
Wow.
So
What else is your like lifting schedule?
that's
like?
it, man. I just do a bunch of push-ups.
Just push-ups.
Bunch of push-ups. If I'm in the gym, I'll train, but
Yeah.
I live on the road, so I don't often get access to a gym.
You guys don't just go to the gym on like...
Well, if I stay in a nice hotel, there'll be gyms, but I do
Yeah.
lots of like car rallies and shit. I'm on the car, or I'm about to be on a boat for a week, and this kind of shit's hard, right? But you can
So
easily
what, you
find
must
time.
diet really good then, no?
Not really.
You eat whatever the fuck you want?
I eat basically whatever I want, drink a lot, smoke a lot.
Damn.
Yeah, but like 1,000 push-ups a day is enough if you actually just a drop. And this is another thing that we can go into another point, a meta point.
Is that really the key? Like just doing push-ups?
Yeah, but you have to live with competitive males. This is another point it's kind of related to what I was going to say. One of the reasons my life's so fantastic and I'm such a high-performing human being is because I live with other competitive men. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If I'm in a group of 5 men and all of them are dropping doing push-ups all the time, am I going to be the only one who doesn't do it?
That's so funny.
I'm asking. It's
No,
a genuine
it's
question.
true. I'm
If
probably
everyone
gonna-
starts
I'm probably
busting out
gonna
push-ups,
drop.
am I going to be the only guy who goes, oh, my arms are tired, like a bitch?
If I hung with you for 5 days and you boys are just ripping push-ups
You're
all
going
the
to start
time,
doing them,
I'd
right?
probably- Yeah.
Now, if we're doing more than you, you're going to try and beat us.
Yeah.
So you're going to do as many as you can.
No, of course. You
Of
are
course.
who you are who
you're
you're around
with.
in every situation.
That's right.
of
So
life.
if I'm rolling with people,
This would be a great social experiment, and it's like, okay, so, and everyone's heard that before. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. What would it take to be the 6th person in your crew and just be there for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and maybe even a month to see what changed? That would be a great social experiment. So, Mr. Tate, respectfully, what would it take for myself to follow you around for 1 week and just to see the night and day difference of, actually, it wouldn't be a week. I would need like an entire month just to see what it would be like before and after, how I would come out, what I would learn. I would be super curious. Like, so back when I used to live in LA, I did a lot of like red carpet press junket thing. I was interviewing celebrities for Fox, whatever. But there's always red tape with celebrities. You have to go through publicists, agents, managers, schedules. Like, it's a complete nightmare. So I teamed up with the actual paparazzi for like a month, and it was very interesting to see how it went for that until like I learned so much. So it would be really cool to just basically do a ride along with him for a month. And what do I have to do to make that happen?